So it turns out I was wrong by like a whole year. I really thought with as low as our sales prices have gotten here in Galveston, like circa 2020 prices before we had that 38% increase, which also means we're at like a 20 to 30% decrease in sales prices over the last 2 years. Yes, there are homeowners that are taking tens of thousands and some over $100,000 loss on their purchase in 2021. I really thought that if interest rates came down by second quarter of next year, we would start to feel the reprieve from so many price decreases. And yesterday we found out that we would actually be looking at the second quarter of 2027. The market is determined by the most motivated buyer and seller. So if all of your homes in your neighborhood look like they should be priced at 450 to 500,000 and you get someone who built their house in 2000 and they've got nothing but equity to play with, they come on the market at 425 or 400, bam, you just changed the entire market for that neighborhood. So when you see homeowners that are not wanting to reduce their prices because they don't want to upset their neighbors, that train of thought is vastly upset when you get someone who is motivated and ready to sell. Everyone's motivations are different. Some people are not just moving. Some people need to get closer to an elderly family member or a sickly child, and so they are okay with playing with their equity and giving up a chunk of it versus maybe the person who's priced higher who bought more recently who doesn't have as much equity, and a lot of homeowners here are actually having to bring money to the closing table. So if you're in the market, it's like Black Friday shopping out here. I will say that one thing that was noted was that as bad as we think that the economy is with inflation, the reason that there hasn't been a stronger adjustment is because you're still out at the airports traveling, you're still out on cruises, you're still filling up some of the theme parks, you're still spending things, they're just not all investments. And statistically speaking, real estate is always going to be your greatest hedge of protection against an inflated market. However, not all houses and investments are created the same. So it is very important that you take this purchase seriously and that you work with someone who lays out your potential resale hiccups